My scripture reading is taken from the book of Matthew, 21st chapter, 18th through the 22nd verse. And now in the morning, as he returned into the city, he hungered, speaking of Jesus. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing thereon, but leaves only. And he said unto it, let no fruit grow on thee henceforward forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, how soon is the fig tree withered away? Jesus answered and said unto them, verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also ye shall say unto this mountain, be thy removed, and be thy cast into the sea. It shall be done. And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. Thus is the scripture reading of St. Matthew's 21st chapter, the 18th through the 22nd verse. Good morning. And as we are already a week into the new year, many have made resolutions. And many have not kept those resolutions. I said some time ago that when one makes resolutions, one's resolutions basically pertain to the things of the outer world. Today I will do all that I can to lose a few pounds. Today I will be watchful of the things that I eat. Today I will exercise more. And today I will do all that I can to commit myself to meditation. Today I will do all that I can to make my life better. I want to say for a long time and for many years, every New Year's Day, there was a new resolution. I had not fulfilled the new or the old resolutions that I had made in prior years. But every New Year, I had resolutions. I have said, and it is truth, not my truth, but the truth of God, the truth of life, the truth of that divine state of consciousness that is within each and every one of us. When we turn within and affirm the very essence and truth of what we are. I am. It is that which God spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai when Moses asked, "Who shall I tell the people sent me?" And God said unto Moses, "Tell them that I am sent you." What does this mean to us? Do you not know and understand that every time you use "I am" in reference to yourself, you are invoking the power, the name of God within you? Do you not know, realize, and understand that when you invoke the name of God, "I am" within you, whatever it is that you attach to "I am" in reference to yourself is that which demonstrates and manifests in your life. I am is the God within you. It is the God of you. And for those of you that have studied scripture, you know Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within. The kingdom is within you. And if the kingdom be within you, then where is God? You know, scripture speaks also when it states that the voice says, "Be still and listen. Be still and know that I am." When scripture states, "Be still and listen," it is not talking about hearing the conflicts and the confusion and the arguments that is going on in the world. Be still and listen to that still small voice within you. That means you have to close out all of the chatter of the outer world. You know, as parents, when we're raising our children, and our children are not responding accordingly, we say, "Didn't you hear what I said? Are you listening to me? Did you hear what I said?" So is the voice of God speaking within you. And we continue on doing the things that we ought not be doing. And when the consequences of our actions fall down upon us, we ask why and we wonder why. And it's because we did not listen to that still small voice that is the guiding light of our life. Now, when Jesus came upon the fig tree and he was hungry, and the fig tree bare no fruit. Well, Jesus said in so many words that if you're not bearing fruit, there is no need for you to be here. So he stretched out his hand and he touched the fig tree. and it withered. In other words, it died. And scripture states that his disciples marveled at this demonstration, this power that they had witnessed. And Jesus said unto them, if you have faith, I want you to stay right here with me now. If you have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also ye shall say unto this mountain, be thy removed and cast into the sea, and it shall be done. Now, the two key words here in this scripture in which Jesus is saying, have faith and doubt not. In other words, you can't straddle the fence. You'll have to be on one side or the other. And Jesus said, and all things, when you have faith, and all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer and believing, ye shall receive. And therein lies the key or the keys to the kingdom within you. Faith open doors. I want to share this story with you, and I've shared it many, many times in the past. And for those of you that have not heard this story, it is a true story, one of my own experience, because I've always been one, when it comes to the things of spirit, the things of God, I've always been one to put those things into practice. In other words, I have to see if it works. If it works for me, then I can accept it. I can believe it. I can know that it is the truth. Many years ago, my grandmother and grandfather had a fig tree in their backyard. They were country folks from way down South Carolina, as some folks say, South Carolina. And I don't know how the fig tree got to be in the hometown where they were in Richmond, Virginia. Probably was there when they first moved here, or they might have bought seeds when they came. But anyway, my grandparents had a fig tree in their backyard. And it was a place where all the young grandkids, when the figs were ripe, would go and gather figs. And when they didn't fall on the ground, there were some of us that would climb up in the trees, break the branches off. And my grandfather, who we call Papa, would sometimes sit at the back door with his 22 rifle. And when the kids would climb up in the fig tree, he would shoot up in the air. Get out of that fig tree, breaking my limbs and everything. Eat the figs that's on the ground. I'll be no figs on the ground. Well, I wait till it fall on the ground. My grandparents made their transition. And after many years, because I was living in the Washington area, I went back to visit my uncle, one of their sons, that lived next door to the property where my grandparents lived and raised their children. And my uncle lived on the second story apartment building where we could look over into the backyard of my grandparents, look over to where the fig tree was. One particular summer, as I always did, I would go down and I would buy a 6-pack of beer, and we would sit up on his back porch and have a beer or two. This particular summer, as I was sitting there, I happened to look over into my grandparents' yard, and there were a burned tree, no leaves, no figs. What I thought to be was a dead tree. And I said to my uncle, "What happened to the fig tree?" And he said, "It died." And he was kind of like, in so many words, saying to, well, Mama and Papa died, so the fig tree died also. Well, I had read the story of the fig tree many times. And I also believed in the sayings and the teachings of Jesus. And I said to my uncle, "I'm going to go down here and I'm going to pray for this fig tree." And he said to me, "Boy, you crazy. Fig tree dead." But I went down. I didn't listen. And I went down and I prayed, put my hands on the fig tree, because I recall the many years that the fig tree had fed me. And I prayed. And this was about last part of June, first part of July, summer months. And after I was done, I went on back up to my uncle's back porch and we finished our beer. Well, after that, got in my car and I came back home to the Washington area. Last part of August, first part of September, I went back down. As usual, 6-pack of beer to my uncle's house, sitting on the back porch. And I happened to look over into my grandparents' yard. There were leaves on the fig tree. And I said to my uncle, "There are leaves on the fig tree." And here he had been living next door to this fig tree all this time and had not noticed the bloom, the green leaves on the fig tree. And he said to me, "I didn't notice that." I went downstairs into my grandparents' backyard, and there on the fig tree were figs. That was confirmation to me that the faith that I had in me was strong enough to restore life to the fig tree. And so when I went back up to my uncle and said, "Man, there's figs on the tree." And he looked at me, he said, "Boy, something wrong with you." He said, "I don't know how you did it." He said, "But that tree was dead." I said, "I didn't do it. The Spirit of God." Now, here's what we have to know and understand. Because something looks dead doesn't necessarily mean that it's dead. When you look out at the trees in the wintertime with no leaves, all barren and everything, you think that they're dead, but in the spring they sprout right back. But here was a tree that bear no fruit, no leaves in the summer months. So when Jesus said, if thou have faith and doubt not, not only can you do to this fig tree, but you can speak to the mountains. As I've said in the past, that's not the Allegheny Mountains or the Smoky Mountains, but they are the things that crop up or rise up in our lives. The molehills or the molehills that seem to become mountains, that seems to be insurmountable. We have the power within us to move anything that is before us that stands in our way as blockages to keep us from progressing. But the thing that represents the greatest challenge to us is doubt. I don't believe that I can do that. I don't believe that I have the power. I don't believe that I can bring forth changes in my life. I don't believe that I can be as prosperous and successful as other folk. There's something that's standing in my way. There are restrictions. Something is limiting me from expressing and being all that I can be. Now, let me say this to you. The fig tree, because it didn't bear fruit, didn't mean that there was no life in it. Oh, there was life in the fig tree. Because if there was no life in the fig tree, that summer when I went and laid hands on the tree toward the end of the summer and to the early fall, there would not have been any figs. There would not have been any leaves. So there was life in that seemingly barren tree. Just needed some stimulation. And so it is with you and I when we are not demonstrating, when we are not manifesting the good that is within us. We need some stimulation. We need some motivation. We need some strengthening of our faith. And it's not by the acquisition of the things that we have acquired in the world. And you'll see how good comes from within. You can have all the material gain, plenty of money, nice home, fine cars, clothes, jewelry. But if you don't have something within here, if you're not spiritually fed within here, if you don't have the nourishment of the spirit within here, all that you acquired out here in the world represents naught. No peace of mind, no joy, no happiness. Always confronted with problems and issues that seems to be unsolvable. Always thinking and believing because I am well educated up here that everything is going to work out here. Well, when you're well educated up here, that represents what you are using to survive. That's what that is. To survive out in the outer world. You see, even school teach you to get an education so that you can get a good job. And as they say, so you can live a good life. But academic learning doesn't teach you anything about in here. Doesn't teach you. Doesn't even tell you about that which you need to bring forth from within here. And when we take the time to turn away from the physical and the material and the worries and the stress and the distractions of the world and go within and listen, be still and listen to the still small voice, the voice of God, the voice of spirit that is constantly speaking to you as to which way, as to what it is that you are to do to bring forth the life of spirit within you. When you bring forth that life of spirit that is within you, then you will begin to manifest and demonstrate the fruits of the spirit. And when you start to manifest and to demonstrate the fruits of the spirit, there is no need to worry about here. Because this within you will always provide what it is that you need for out here. Always. There's nothing in scripture that says that Jesus' disciples went to college, university, very well educated. There's nothing in scripture that says that Jesus went to college or university, was very well educated by the things of the world, educated by the things, the spirit within, by the things of the spirit within. Now, when we speak about faith, you know, I've said many times ago when I first, the scripture says, if your faith is the size of a mustard seed. Well, I thought I had a whole lot of faith until I actually saw a mustard seed. How small, how tiny mustard seed. And I said to myself, I got to get to work. I've got to grow my faith. Because if my faith is not the size of a mustard seed, I don't have a whole lot going for me. And I started to work on me, in me, with me. And I eliminated the doubt. I eliminated the fear. I eliminated the disbelief. I turned within and started to listen to the voice. I turned within and surrendered to that inner voice. And I said, lead me and guide me, and I will follow. Instruct me as to what it is that I am to do. Show me. Many years ago, As I was talking to some folks, somebody said to me, how come you are so positive? There's no other way to be. Negative thinking creates negative energy, and negative energy works against you. It tears you up, tears you down, brings on you sicknesses and all types of things. And yet we want to say somebody else or something else is responsible. No, the misuse of the power within us is the cause of the things that fall upon this physical body. The misuse of I am, not being aware of the power of I am, not being aware that the I am that you are is the power of God working in you and through you. And you've heard many times, you've heard it said, be careful of what you ask for because you might get it. I am will always bring to you that which you attach to it. That is the God within you. Does not scripture say we're created in the image and likeness of God? And if we're created in the image and likeness of God, then all that God is, we are. And that power is within us. And if we misuse, misrepresent that power of I am within us, we have no one to blame but ourselves. Jesus said, have faith and doubt not. I said to you, as the master teacher said to you, have faith and doubt not. And you can do all that you desire. That is for your highest good and for the highest good of all concerned. God bless you.